just a short live stream right now. Just doing it for Christmas. Gonna see my friend very soon here. In a little bit actually. But I just thought I'd take a walk around the park. It's been a long time since I've done anything like this. I don't normally go, I shouldn't say that, usually in the summer, but it's been a long time since I've been to a forest preserve. So I thought I'd take the time and view the scenery. It's a beautiful day out here. Not too cold, not too hot right now. Like I said, I'm just taking some time to go on a quick walk through the forest preserve by me in Zion, and just enjoy the view before I go to my friend's house, because I'm going to my friend's house in a little bit, in about an hour or so, to have a Christmas dinner with her family, and I haven't seen her in like 4 years, so it's gonna be nice. I hope all of you are having a great holiday, and hopefully the people that care about you, hopefully you're surrounding yourself with people who do care and who are a good source of love in your life. What's up, man? How's your Christmas going? It's beautiful here in this forest reserve. Nobody in sight. Just taking a walk right now by myself. I usually go to forest preserves in the summer, but you know, since there's no snow on the ground here in Illinois, there hasn't been much snow in the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. So it's nice out here. I tried to talk to my mom about my depression. She was like, you need me to go to a doctor, reminding me of your last video. I was like, F no. Yeah, I don't know if any of you saw my live stream of where I was forced to go into another mental hospital against my will. Because I tried to get help, because I thought this was it's a long story. I think I made another video about it, but yeah, I have some pills, some prescription pills that the doctors want me to take, waiting for me at Walgreens. But I don't see the point in taking pills, because it's not so much of a, oh, you know, I'm a man, it's a macho thing as it is. Pills don't do anything except put a band-aid on your problem. See, the thing with pills is it's a false sense of security. It's, you know, you're putting a band-aid on something that you know needs a long-term fix. So you have problems in your life. You go to the doctor, and the doctor says, well, take this antidepressant, or take this anti-anxiety med, or take this, or take that. I believe in much more natural methods to fix your problems. I don't think that pills should be a solution to fix your problems, just because every time you take an antidepressant, every time you take an anxiety med, or whatever medicine you take, you know, you gotta wait 3 to 4 weeks for it to kick in, right? Because these pills that these doctors prescribe, they don't kick in for 3 to 4 weeks, if that. Sometimes even longer. Sometimes it takes 2 months, right? And then on top of that, even if they do kick in, sure, you start feeling better, but your problems are still there in life. If you're not doing anything at the very least, to try to fix your problems. And the antidepressants aren't going to do anything for you. The anxiety medicine is not going to do anything for you. You need to set a plan, a long-term plan with goals you have in mind to get to where you want to be. You know, these medications aren't going to solve your problems. And then once they do stop working, then what happens? Then you got to take a higher dose. And then when that dose stops working, then you got to take a higher dose. So to me, it's just a never-ending cycle. Yeah, but that's actually the prescription I have waiting for me, are RX pills, which I haven't taken yet. Just because, like, I just don't believe in pills. I think if you have problems in your life, you have things going on, you have unresolved trauma, it's better to use more natural ways to fix them. There are other ways, talk therapy, things like that, to fix them. I don't really believe in pills. Like, I've taken them in the past, they've helped a little bit, but pills are a temporary fix for a long-term problem that's going to require a lot of resolution. You can't fix things like PTSD overnight, depression, things like that. Like, you have to improve the things in your life. You have to improve the things in your life so that they get better. You can't just take a pill and just take a pill. Sherry, it's Merry Christmas. I hope you're having a good Christmas. He said it's a pretty good day out. We're by the beach right now. Very nice out. Just taking a walk. Taking a walk on the sand right now. Yeah, things are good. Things have been, slowly improving. I finally have the money to, I finally have the money to move. Now I'm just looking for a place, because for the people that have been watching and following my channel, you guys know that I live with a friend still. So now that I finally have the money to move, all I need is to find a place, and I'm really happy about that. But yeah, this is I'm not sure if it's close to Waukegan. I shouldn't have said Waukegan. It's close to Waukegan. Somewhere between Winthrop, Waukegan, and Vida. I was just kind of driving around and I found this place. I didn't really look low enough at the sign. I just kind of saw this forest preserve, and I just decided to take a look at it. But yeah, it's somewhere in between the three. So I have to double check. You're from outside of Chicago? Where at? Like, man, you should look into Cambodia. A lot of us are trying to head there. Cambodia. Geez, I never thought about that. I mean, I thought about Mexico. I thought about Thailand. I've been to Mexico once. It's beautiful. I know, Mexico has a lot of, they have a lot of bad areas. But every country and every state has a lot of bad areas. So, there's good and bad areas wherever you go. Yeah. When I meant I had money to move, I don't have money to move to Cambodia. So I have money to move in my local area right now. But I mean, for a long-term solution, possibly, I don't know. I like to get out of this country just because I don't like to be a pessimist, but I don't think this country is going to improve. I think things are just kind of getting, They might improve for a little bit, like, you know, prices will go down, things like that, but I don't think, you know, as a whole, this country is going to, you know, improve drastically. I think things are going to keep getting worse. And I don't like to be a pessimist, but, you know, just from someone who's lived in the States, obviously, my whole life, and in Illinois my whole life, I've seen things go from bad to worse. You know, I'm not saying, I'm not going to get too political in here, but, you know, I remember even 5-6 years ago, things were pretty good. You know, I was, you could at least afford an apartment, you know, 4, 5, 6 years ago and food. And now you can't. I can't even afford a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm most likely going to be renting a room from somebody in a house, unless I find a good deal on an apartment. But yeah, with the way these apartment prices are, I can't justify spending $1,500, $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 on an apartment in Illinois right now. You know, it really is. You know, all my friends want to move out of Illinois. Everybody who I talk to says the same thing. Like, there's nothing to do here. The rent prices are ridiculous. Food prices are ridiculous. Taxes are ridiculous. Everything's just ridiculous here. And, you know, like I said, I've seen it go, even in just the last few years. It was not a great apartment, but I could afford an apartment. I could afford food, no problem. I had several $100s. I think I was, like, 2020, I was saving like $1,000 a month. Working, like I said, I was working a job as a machine operator. I was making like $16, $17 an hour, and I was saving like $1,000 plus a month. And now I'm barely saving anything due to how expensive food is, due to how expensive gas is and everything else. Then you have car repairs. God, you have so many things you have to take into account. And, you know, living in Illinois this is one of the expensive states. You know, one of the most expensive states in the country. So, me neither. I'm going to be sadly stuck in America due to being on disability, but at least I can live myself and get some support. Well, I mean, that's a good thing, right? You can live by yourself. You know, I wish I wish I had an apartment by myself right now. But at least, you know, at least you can live by yourself right now, and you don't need to be living with roommates right now. Because living with roommates is, I mean, I don't mind living with my friend. He's all right. Like, he's fine. But even now, after a while, it just gets annoying living with somebody else. You just want your own space. So it's good you can at least live by yourself. Hopefully you can get a studio or efficiency apartment. I'm trying to move out in the Midwest myself. Yeah, hopefully. You know, there are still some decent apartments. I was looking at one yesterday in, I believe it was Waukegan. You know, it's not ideal. I don't like Waukegan. There's a lot of potholes. There's a lot of crime. If you go out at night, then you're bound to have somebody offer you drugs or something like that. There's a lot of crime and, you know, other things in Waukegan. It's just not desirable. But, you know, the apartment I think listed that I was looking at, it listed for like $850 or $900. So for that price, you know, I'm more inclined to rent, you know, because it's under $1,000. But I refuse to pay over $1,000 for an apartment. I can't justify paying $1,200, $1,300. I can't afford it. I guess I could afford it, but I just don't see a reason to spend that much money. I just got to get my driver's license and then a CDL and drive a truck. Hey, I mean, if truck driving's your thing, if you want to get a CDL and drive a truck, go at it. That's good. I mean, truck drivers can make a lot of money for sure, depending on where you're at, depending on who you work with. You know, maybe if the CDL is a good option for you. I mean, plus if you're on the road a lot, you can save on rent. You can sleep. But I know a lot of people that sleep in their trucks. So, you know, if you don't have to rent an apartment, You know, you could save on rent and sleep on your truck, and then just, you know, continue on the road. I know road life's not, you know, living on the road is not ideal for everybody, but if you can do it, then, I mean, more props to you. Netherlands. Oh, okay, I've seen the comment. Yeah, I mean, I've heard good things and bad things about Netherlands. I know the taxes are definitely higher there, but I've heard the quality of living in Netherlands is, you know, is pretty decent. Question mark Furry says, yeah, I understand the roommate situation. I was living in a shared living, which is basically roommate situations without disability, and they're very abusive and no caring in my life. Yeah, I just, yeah, I understand, like, if you're gonna have roommates, then it's best to roommate with people you really trust. Like I'm roommating with somebody I've known for a long, you know, not a super long time, but I've known them long enough to where I trust them. Yeah, I understand roommating can be hard, especially if you're looking at sites like Craigslist, you know, roommates.com or something. Like, you have to get a feel for the person. You can't just roommate with the first person you meet. Like, you have to meet them, you have to get a feel for them, you have to set boundaries, things like that. You can't just move in right away. It was scary, honestly. Like, I was getting yelled at by boomer alcoholics, by middle-class people that would talk trash about people with disabilities and then clean up after their pets. Yeah. Sounds like a lot of boomers I've met. Coming from an alcoholic family, I know that most of them are boomers. Boomers ruin. We have the worst fates. Yeah. Boomers voted in a lot of people that would help their own self-interest. So yeah, they did have a big part. They did have a big part to play in it. You know, but I think the good thing about our generation is we're young, and you know, it sucks. We got to clean up their mess, but you know, we're the only generations that can do it. The millennials and Gen Z, we have to clean up this mess one way or another. The boomers are dying off. You know, it sucks that we're going to be stuck with this mess, but we're the only ones, you know, who have the power to change it. So. Joshua H. Hey, how you doing? I've not seen you in my channel before. Are you new? I'm really stuck between getting my bachelor's degree in business or getting a certification. You can't just work for yourself or on a company anymore. You have to be some type of technician. Yeah. I mean, I'm finally learning that the hard way. Like I said, I'm looking to go into some kind of trade. I was talking to this guy I met, and he works in the steel industry. I think he's in steel industry. He does air ducts. He makes air ducts for different buildings and things like that. I think he works for Local 265, and he makes air ducts for different buildings and things like that. So, yeah, I've been looking into the trades a lot recently. I've spent my whole life trying to move in companies, but I just, you know, there's favoritism and there's all sorts of things. So I just, working in, you know, corporate America has never really worked out for me. You know, and I wish I would have found that out sooner. I wish I would have started at like 26, 27. Because I'm 30 right now, and it's like, it's not too late, but, you know, I'm definitely not young anymore, so I have to start, I have to come up with a plan soon of what I'm going to do, what kind of trade I'm going to do, where I'm going to go. Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, I hope you like my videos, and welcome to the channel. Thanks for coming to my live stream. How's your Christmas going? Yeah, you almost have to do something like a trade now, because these companies don't want to start you off at decent wages. And when they don't want you, that's why these companies cry that nobody wants to work anymore. Like I've said in previous videos, I made 3 or 4 videos about how nobody wants to work. But when you start people off at wages that don't even afford rent or food, what do you expect? Like you can't expect anything less than a high turnover rate. If you're going to have a pay rate of $16 or $17, you're not going to have people stay for you, because they see how far they have to climb. And even if they manage to reach the top, it's going to take 10, 15, 20 years. People just don't see the point of working for somebody else anymore. They don't like answering to these boomer bosses. They don't see a point in working up the corporate ladder because of how much favoritism there is. They don't see the point in starting these jobs because of how low the wages are. They don't pay rent, they don't pay food, they don't pay your bills, they don't really pay for anything. So it makes sense why more and more people are working for themselves now. Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to work for peanuts. And what's going to happen is employers are going to continue putting up their signs. Oh, look, we're hiring for full time. $14 an hour, $15 an hour. Oh, $16 an hour. What? You can't pay $1,800 worth of rent on $1,600 a month? Or I mean $16 an hour? You can't pay for $500, $600 worth of food a month, because that's how much it costs now on average? You can't pay your electricity bills, you can't pay your utility bills on our crappy wage? Well, you're just lazy. You just don't want to work 80 hours. You just don't want to work 90 hours, 100 hours. You just don't have you just don't have what it takes, like the boomer generation. You're all just lazy, you just don't want to work. Like, no. We don't want to work for your wages. We don't want to work for your fucking hours. We don't want to work these jobs that have no benefits. That's another thing to mention. Like, most of these jobs don't have health care either. So if you end up getting sick, or if you end up breaking your leg, or something else happens, well, you don't have health care. So because these jobs don't want to get health care, and what they'll do, of course, is they'll put you on part-time hours so they don't legally have to give you health care anymore. And then they'll complain about how they'll put up their sign. They'll put up their sign again. They'll be like, well, nobody wants to work. No, nobody wants to work for your wages. Nobody wants to listen to your demands all day. People are fed up with it. People are fed up with these starvation wages. They don't want to do it anymore. They see there's no light at the end of the tunnel. And what are they doing? They're finding alternatives. They're doing deliveries, or they're trying to open their own business, or they're doing something else, because it's just not worth it anymore. These companies have no loyalty. The pandemic has taught us that when we were once essential workers, so they called us essential workers back then during the pandemic. I remember very clearly when I was working in my jobs in the pandemic, we were called essential workers when I was working at Abbott. And then all of a sudden everybody starts getting laid off. And now we're not so essential anymore because COVID has died down. So it's bullshit. These companies are lying to you. You were never an essential worker. You were just essential in the moment because COVID was at an all-time high and they needed you. Let's see. If it wasn't for my disability rights lawyer, I would not be in a good situation right now with my living areas. I had to couch surf throughout the entire year of 20 to 21. Yeah. I mean, I can imagine. It's really bad. Like, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm living on someone's couch. $20 an hour when a house is $450K. Yeah. And when a house is $450K. Yeah, exactly. And more. I mean, depending on where you go. The house is in a decent area, depending on where you go. Like I said, it costs, upwards of $1 million. $1 million. And it's not even, most of the houses aren't even nice houses. Like, they need thousands upon thousands of dollars of renovations. In 21 to 2022, I was stuck with that middle class guy. I was talking trash about disabled people until I got my current place in September of last year, temporarily staying until February. Okay, well, at least you had that going for you, I guess. Brother, why should we? I honestly came to the point of of, I'm sorry, hold on. I honestly came to the point of let the suffer. I feel your pain the way we were ostracized, us men, the minute we hit 18, we magically didn't figure out life. I'm a little confused by your comment, I'm sorry. Work twice as hard as boomers for half as much. Yeah, that's basically what we're doing. We're working twice or thrice as hard as the boomers, for the boomers, because the boomers don't want to retire. They want to stay in power as long as possible. We're working twice or thrice as hard as them, and they have they screwed up this economy, and now we have them employed as professional bosses, and we're working for them. And then they have the nerve to turn around and say, "This is your fault. This is your fault. You're not working hard enough. You didn't have our work ethic. We had the best work ethic ever. Our generation, that's why our generation rocks. You guys suck, because you guys just don't have the work ethic we did." No, we do. We are literally out here, some of us, doing 2 and 3 jobs and a side hustle. And they're gonna come out here and tell us how we have no work ethic. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what these boomers say. The longest I stayed on a job was 2 years. I'm about that, guys. Worked twice as hard as, okay, I already read that one. The longest I stayed at a job was 2 years and went from 14 to 16. This was from 2020 to 2022. What a joke. I was an essential worker too. You're only as essential as they need you in that moment. That's when you're essential. As soon as they don't need you anymore, you're not essential. You're about as essential as, it's about how much they need you in that moment. If they need you in that moment, then you're considered essential. If they don't need you, if they don't need you anymore, then you're not essential. Oh my God, I made it. Why did you delete your other live? I didn't delete it. I don't know what happened to it. I clicked it. I don't know if I accidentally, but I don't think I deleted it, because I've been trying to look for it too and I can't find it. But I didn't delete it on purpose if I did delete it, because I've been looking for the live stream too, and I was looking through my videos today and I don't see it. So I don't know why it's not there. Let's see. Hold on, guys. I think I'm gonna have to end this live stream soon. I gotta make it to my friend's house. Like I said, she's doing a get together. I haven't seen her in like 3 or 4 years, so she's doing kind of a Christmas dinner with family and friends today. So I'm gonna go over there in about 1 minute right now. Be safe out there, dude. It's dangerous in Chicago. All right, man. I will. I hope you are as well. Chicago's no joke. I mean, they call it Chirac for a reason, right? So, I hope you're doing all right too. I hope you guys all have a good Christmas. I gotta end this live stream. I'm about to go to my friend's house, have a Christmas dinner over there. Again, hope you guys all have a good Christmas. Stay safe out there, and talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.